I shrank into the wall in horror. There was banging on the door, and a bunch of angry girls were standing right outside the windows. Oh dear, that wasn't the birthday party I dreamed of. I was trapped, and someone was going to pay for it. Hi, I'm Lynn, and I really need your help. But first, let me tell you my story. My mom was born in Laos. She met my dad when she came to study in America. They got married, and soon my sister May and I were born. Usually, twins are like 2 drops of water. However, my sister and I had always been completely different, like chalk and cheese. Like Lynn and May. I was a calm and well-behaved kid. Our parents never struggled with me. I loved studying and followed rules. Oh, Lynn, you're like a tiny adult. Why don't you put your books down and play in the sandbox with the other kids? But I wasn't interested in playing. After all, I was going to become the president, so I had to study hard. May was different. My sister loved to break things. She was like a Hulk in pink diapers. Seriously, she was ridiculously strong. She broke the bars of our cradle like they were matches. When we got older, she could even lift me into the air. What are you doing? Put me down! I'm doing homework! 2 more times. At school, my sister started to do weightlifting. No one could possibly confuse us with each other after that. Just look at her muscles. We were different, but we adored each other, and our parents were always there for us. But unfortunately, one day, they decided to get a divorce. It was a real blow for me and May. However, our parents said that it was for the better. All we could do was accept it. May and Dad stayed in our old house, and Mom and I moved to Laos. I missed my sister and our old life like a limb. But I always told myself not to wallow in my misery. Only someone serious and strong could become the president. If I ever felt like I was about to cry, I told myself, "Hey, Mrs. Tear, I forbid you from rolling down my face. Go back to the eye." I tried to keep busy so that I wouldn't have any time to be upset. I studied foreign languages, learned to play musical instruments, and even got a driver's license. For some reason, it worried my mother. Darling, you should relax and have fun sometimes. You don't have to be so serious all the time. At first, May and I texted each other every day. We shared news and photos. Look, I won a cup at a competition! But then, she started dating a guy called Bruce and spending less and less time online. It bothered me. I'm sorry I didn't pick up the phone yesterday. It was late when I came back from a party. By the way, you should find some time to relax too. And you should be more responsible. Our birthday was approaching. Mom decided to send me to America so that I could celebrate it with my dad and sister. She couldn't come with me because of work, but I was over the moon anyway. When I got off the plane, I looked around, searching for Dad. He was 2 seconds late already, and his phone was turned off. Had he forgotten about me? I had to get home on my own. Hey, anyone home? My suitcase is heavy, and I could use some help in case you were wondering. I walked into the living room and was stunned by what I saw. May was sitting there with a cast on her leg. I hugged her and asked what happened and where Dad was. Oh, it's nothing. I got injured in practice, and Dad is on a business trip. He probably forgot to tell you. I rolled my eyes. How could they be so irresponsible? Judging by the empty pizza boxes lying around, Dad and May lived off fast food. I cooked a Lao national dish, steamed fish and banana leaves. My sister and I spent the whole evening chatting. The worst thing is that I won't be able to pass the exam and get a driver's license because of my leg tomorrow. I had been studying for so long. And then, May narrowed her eyes slightly and asked me to go in her place. Sis, did you also hit your head in practice? Only a blind person wouldn't realize we're different people. Come on! If you put on my clothes, no one will notice how thin you are, and our faces look the same. Please, it would be the best birthday gift ever! She spent a long time trying to convince me to do it, but eventually succeeded. Okay, but this is the first and last time. The next morning, I put on May's hoodie and jeans. I didn't really believe we could pull it off, but her clothes hid my figure well. Now, even our parents wouldn't have been able to tell us apart. I went to the exam. Mr. Grant was overseeing it. He looked like he was about 200 years old. He couldn't hear well, so I had to speak very loudly. What should you do first, Miss May? Fasten your seatbelt. What? Pattern on sweet pelt? I said, fasten your seatbelt. Why are you yelling? Oh, it was a disaster. But I did it. I passed the exam for my sister. However, I swore that it was the last time I was doing anything of that sort. I was heading home when a group of ripped girls mistook me for May. They came closer, looking pissed off. You have 2 days to pay us, May. What? Don't you dare act like you don't know what I'm talking about. But I really didn't know. So I just mumbled something and went home. May was overjoyed when she found out that I had got her a driver's license. However, when I told her about those weird girls, my sister grew nervous. What do they want you to pay them for? That was my friend Nikki. She was just joking, don't mind her. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong, but May was a tough nut to crack. That evening, she got another crazy idea. We managed to fool everyone so easily. Could you meet Bruce's parents instead of me? Your boyfriend's parents? No way! Please! They are museum directors and think that an athlete like me doesn't deserve their son. I'm sure you would be able to impress them, though. That would make them change their minds about me. She kept begging me to do it and told me that there were a lot of cool paintings and a huge library in that house. You'll enjoy chatting with them. I'll explain everything to Bruce. Oh, my sister had to be using magic of some sort because she managed to talk me into it again. Besides, Dad still wasn't answering his phone, and having dinner with smart people was more interesting than lying on the couch. So, I changed back into May's clothes and went to the address she gave me. Wow, Bruce lived in a huge mansion. It seemed that my sister had won over a rich guy. Bruce met me at the gate. You must be Lynn. May told me a lot about you. You look just like her dressed like this. We went into the house. It was beautiful inside, but also dark and quiet. Where are your parents? I thought we were going to have dinner together. My parents had some urgent business and left just before you came. But since you're here, let me show you around. Bruce pulled me along. While I was looking at the paintings, he ran to the kitchen and brought us milkshakes. Why is it so dark in here? Can't we turn on the lights? No, we are saving on electric bills. Whose portrait is this? That's my grandfather. This is a woman, though. I meant to say my grandmother. He seemed very nervous and kept looking at his watch, and then he suddenly spilled his cocktail on me. Bruce said it was an accident, but I could swear he did it on purpose. Sorry, you can clean up in the bathroom while I wash your clothes. Well, I didn't want to go home covered in milkshake, so I handed Bruce May's clothes and stayed in my t-shirt and shorts. When I was done, Bruce brought me my sister's clothes and looked at me with interest. I dried your clothes, but they are still sticky. You know, you're really pretty. If May and I don't work out, we should go on a date sometime. What? How dare he flirt with me behind my sister's back? What a bastard. Dream on! I snatched May's clothes out of his hands, changed into them, and headed home. My sister shouldn't have worried about Bruce's parents because he didn't deserve her. Then, I noticed something weird. May's baggy clothes seemed a little heavy. She called me and asked me how I was doing. It was a disaster. I'm sticky all over, and I'll tell you the rest when I get back. Could you stop by my gym on the way and grab my vitamins from the locker? You could leave the dirty clothes there. May, I'm not your maid. I won't ask you for anything else, promise. I was exhausted, but still agreed to help my sister. A few minutes later, I was there. I took the vitamins from May's locker and was about to leave those damn clothes there, but then I heard a familiar voice. It was that tough girl, Nikki. Well, well, well. You came here after all. I'll admit, I didn't think you had the guts for it. Did you bring it? She didn't sound very friendly. Then, her friends walked in as well. They looked scary. I was sure they wouldn't listen to any of my explanations, so I did the sensible thing and ran. I ran out into the street, and those ripped girls rushed after me. Oh, please kill me now. I wasn't used to running so much, and something kept rattling in my pocket. And then, a diamond pendant fell out of it. What the hell? I hid behind a trash can. After the girls had run past me, I checked all my pockets. They were full of jewelry. Had Bruce put it there? My phone rang. It was Dad. Freaking finally! Lynn, sweetie, I'm sorry. I was so busy I forgot to tell you about my business trip. I'll be back in a couple of days. Stay with May for now. She can't leave the house anyway. Yeah, I know about her leg. Dad was baffled and said that there was nothing wrong with May's leg. She couldn't go anywhere because the police had put her under house arrest. My blood ran cold. What was he talking about? Dad said he would explain everything when he got back and hung up. I went home, beside myself with anger. When I arrived, I saw May walking around the room. Her cast was on the floor and she had an ankle tag that was tracking her location. May, you better start talking now. What have you gotten me into? My sister plopped down in a chair and burst into tears. It left me speechless. She had always been so strong, but now she was crying like a baby. Lynn, I messed up. I lost it after our parents got a divorce. I couldn't deal with it and fell in with a bad crowd. Recently, I broke a shop window and got arrested. I didn't tell you the truth because I didn't want you to be disappointed in me. So I hid the ankle tag under a cast. May, you shouldn't have hidden your problems from me. I'm your sister. Then, I asked her if she knew why Bruce had hidden the jewels in her clothes. Her answer shocked me. I owe Nikki a lot of money. Bruce decided to steal jewelry from the house where he worked as a gardener to help me. Oh my God. It wasn't even his mansion. No wonder he'd acted so squirrely. May couldn't have gone there because she was being tracked, and Bruce was too afraid to meet Nikki by himself. That's why they dragged me into it. I had taken the clothes, suspected nothing, and was supposed to leave them and the jewelry in the gym for Nikki. But I ruined everything when I ran away. That's a crime, don't you get it? We should call the police and tell them everything. No, please. They'll put me in jail. Your reputation would be ruined too. How would you become the president then? Damn it, she had a point. But I had to fix everything. Call Bruce. We'll put the diamonds back and no one will know we took them in the first place. We do that, or I'm calling the police. May sighed but agreed. Half an hour later, Bruce and I were walking back to that mansion. You are a bad influence on my sister. I hope she will break up with you and continue her sports career. Quit lecturing me, you goody two-shoes. Jeez. We would have kept arguing, but we ran into Nikki. Run! We barely got away and quickly jumped over the fence. Bruce led me into the house again and showed me where he found the jewelry. I pulled all the pieces out of my pockets and put everything back. We were about to leave, but then the owner of the house suddenly came home. Damn, it's Mr. Grant! Mr. Grant? That deaf examiner? I turned to Bruce, hoping he had an escape plan, but he had already run away, leaving me alone. What a bastard! The old man noticed me and shouted that he would call the police. I was in so much trouble. I ran into some room and closed the door behind me. Mr. Grant started banging on the door like a madman. Nikki's friends were right outside the window. I was trapped. All I could do was shrink into the wall in horror. My sister would pay for putting me through this. A few minutes later, cops burst into the room. Of course, they thought I was a robber and brought me to the police station. Now, I would definitely say goodbye to my dream. You're in serious trouble, girl. With those words, he put me in a cell. For a few seconds, I was all alone in the dark. But then, someone shouted, "Surprise!" The lights came on and I saw balloons and a birthday cake, as well as my parents. May, Bruce, Nikki, and even Mr. Grant. They were all laughing and clapping. What's going on? Happy birthday, little sis! It turned out that my family thought I didn't know how to have fun, so they decided to congratulate me by pulling a prank. That's right. Everything starting from my arrival in America and up to that minute had been set up. Dad hadn't gone on a business trip, May wasn't under house arrest, and Mom had arrived on the next flight after mine. At first, I was furious. How could you do that to me? Come on, when was the last time you had fun? And now, you'll never forget this birthday. Maybe I really was boring. After all, my family had predicted my every move. I was glad that May wasn't actually a delinquent, and Bruce really loved her. Nikki turned out to be May's friend from the gym. By the way, Mr. Grant is actually your great uncle. He's an actor. So, your hearing's fine? My steering? Never mind that. I hugged my family and the party began. By the way, I told you at the beginning of the video that I needed your help. My family pranked me and now it's my turn. Do you have any cool ideas? Don't forget to press like.